decision for that boy to join it.
Yeah, because
so
they say birds of the same feather flock together.
Flocks together. It's as simple as ABCD. We can see it. We see. Someone was just my dear brother was speaking here, saying that our brothers they are waiting for execution in Malaysia. In Malaysia, I remember when I finished secondary school in 2005. I remember very well. Malaysians were in New Haven, Enugu, begging us to come and study. Begging us to come to Malaysia and study. No visa. This Malaysia. All of a sudden, everything changed. We started fleeing our place. See, we are all over everywhere. The other day, I was in a restaurant talking with some people. So you will see some Biafrans. They will be talking like Hausa people. They will be talking like a Biafran opened his mouth and said that his hero is Awolowo. I am telling you, a Biafran. He said that his hero is Awolowo. The murderous Awolowo.
Do you know if his father is from Yoruba land? The father could be Yoruba. You don't know.
The murderous Awolowo, he said, is his hero. I looked at him. I just stood up and walked away. Because this type of person, he cannot listen to argument. He cannot debate. Just like someone was yelling at His Excellency in Hong Kong. I was listening. I said, what type of human being is this? So he's from Benin. He's from Benin. Just for this His Excellency to ask him one or two questions, he started shouting. He cannot answer basic questions. I used to listen to His Excellency. He answers all questions. There was something that a man stood up and said during his speech at a World Igbo Congress. You know what the man said? The man said that he has seen that this man can answer every question we have here. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? The man said that we don't need to waste more time here because he can answer every question that we have here. So who is it that will answer every question that everybody have here? It means you are right. You need to be right. You need to be right. I asked somebody was saying he's a pastor from Calabar in Malaysia. I asked that. He said, I've heard about Nnamdi Kanu. I have heard, I think something is wrong with him. And I say, okay, can you figure out, just point out one thing he said that is untrue. I mean, fact that has been fact checked and say that this thing is proven to be false. Name one thing. He started scratching. He don't know. He doesn't even listen. He doesn't even pay attention. How can he know? He does not know. So what I am saying is, there was a boy, in fact a man, he said that any day I Nkwachuku Okinyi, I hear from Ndiaba in Ikwano, if any day I meet with His Excellency face to face, that he will become an IPOB member. He said so. I came here with my wife. I said, I must meet him. I wanted to travel back home. I said, no, I will not travel. Even I didn't know, it was my wife who told me that His Excellency has arrived in Kolompo. My wife told me. I said, I started calling Onyebuchi. I called him. I said, he says, is he? I said, yeah. He changed his schedule. I said, I didn't know. I did not know. It was my wife who told me. That he just saw my wife liked him on Facebook or something. He just saw an update that I think he has arrived in Colombo. You understand? So that was it. This boy said, any day I meet him face to face, that guy is a devil, he's a spirit, you cannot see him, nobody sees him. I said, okay. This man I'm talking about own a restaurant. I don't want to mention his name. He owned a restaurant. He said, any day I meet him, first I said, I will meet him. And today I have met him live. I have met him. I started struggling. My father served the zoo. That was what he said. If you go and serve zoo, you will fall. You will fall. You will come back disgraced. My father served the zoo. He died alongside during the time of Abacha, Ankoto. All of them, they died. Ankoto of Enugu. You remember Ankoto? They all died together. So what I'm saying in conclusion, fellow Biafrans, if you are hearing my voice, do not wait. Keep on waiting and listening. Keep on waiting and listening. He said that I should join. I was contributing. He said that is not enough. That I have to join. Then I remember one thing. They said, I used to be stubborn. But when I heard the truth, I said, this one is the truth. This man is not saying anything that is false. I have not heard anything. Anything he said is true. I have checked everything. Check it from religious aspects to just everywhere. It's true. Everything is true. So if you're hearing my voice, stop listening and start joining. You have to be a member. If you are listening and saying Biafra, if you like, wear t-shirt from now until next year. If you are not a member, you are not among us. You need to join. May Chukwu Abiyama bless everyone here, and more importantly, may Chukwu Abiyama restore Biafra.
You say, do you know that those in Biafra land, they are telling me here that they can hear the voice of the people I cannot hear. Those in Biafra land, they're saying that they can hear those calling. I may not be able to hear them, but the people back home can hear them very, very well. We shall try once again to see if we can at least get one or two people to be able to speak, to acknowledge this very wonderful crowd that I have here before me in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Of course, Umu Chineke can have Makadi and Mama. We are live and direct, and we are doing the best we can. I'm sure before we have our town hall meeting, we'll be able to. I don't know what type of gremlin got into our system today. Even now, to pick the call is even a problem. I'm sliding it, it's not working. I'm telling you. Maybe they want to continue talking here, and that's what we're going to do. Who else has something to say, please? Give them the microphone, one after the other. They want to hear from Malaysians. After all, this very global effort we are making, the enthusiasm started from here. It started from here in Malaysia. Please go ahead.
Great Biafran. Great Biafran. Once again, my name is Chukwuemeka Nwufo. I am from Aguku, the Asian Kingdom of Biafra land. Biafra director, you're welcome once again in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm humbled to be here.
Yeah. I want to give you a title name.
Hey.
Now, if you are in Malaysia, you come to Malaysia, and this is where we started it first. This is a pillar of IPOB. You know, Malaysia is a pillar of IPOB. For those who doesn't know how we started it. Yes. After I'm going to give is Solomon of the Bible. The reason I give you Solomon is that during the day Solomon dedicated the temple of God in Israel, in Jerusalem, he danced like a crazy man. That's why his wife telling him, "Are you drunk?" You know? Yeah. And okay, so yeah. But no, the day he dedicated the temple of God in Jerusalem, and when the God appeared to him and asked him, "What will I give? What will I do to you? Ask, and I will give to you." The asked him. He said, "I need wisdom." And you know, I want to take from you what he said. You went to Jerusalem when you're going to pray for Biafra, or your mission of a Biafran struggle. When you want to kneel down to pray, the God appeared to you in vision and asked you, if only you can speak the truth, that anything you ask of my name, you shall be given it unto you. You left your family in London, but here you are with your family here. If you need a ticket to go to where Obama is, we can afford it right away. If you want to go to Alaska, where there's no people in Alaska, you can travel it all alone. That's why we are formidable. Director, one thing I want to ask you, tell you that don't dwell like Solomon, because upon the wisdom of Solomon, that's when they invented gods of other lands. When Queen Sheba, other maidens, his wife, his concubine, when they are coming, she's pretty, you know. She come with other girls. Someone adopt the girls. So, you know, yeah. Now you have a great wisdom. No question that can be thrown to you cannot answer. You know, the reason why I gave you that name Solomon is that you have the amount of wisdom and understanding. You can build, you can destroy. Philip Emeagwali of Great Biafra in Onitsha is a father of internet, of computer. Chino Achebe, Chiko Obi, other great Biafrans. But the one I give it Biafran Solomon is that because you champion the cause of Biafrans. You want to liberate your people. Martin Luther King championed the cause of black race in America. He didn't liberate for them to go back home. He wants them to be free in America, because he's serving the white man. But if he championed the cause for them to go home, by now all the black will have been in Africa.
I agree with you.
I'm building the great land of Africa.
I agree with you completely.
That's why I call you Solomon.
I agree with you.
The question I want to ask straight on you is that you say when Biafra come, there will be no Eze.
Yes.
You know, I'm from Honorary Kingdom, ancient land of Biafra.
Yes.
And the book when in history I read, because I called yes, the first Eri, the originator of Igbo race, is the first king of Honorary Kingdom. Till today, present king we have today. Yes. So that's what I want to throw to you.
I'll answer you.
Yes.
They are not kings. Because what is their traditional title? Is it Eze? Thank you very much. Igwe is called Igwe Kala, which means, are you listening to me? You are the high priest. You are the conduit between heaven and this very earth. You are like, listen very carefully, please, our people. You are like a judge. You are like Samuel in the Bible, not Saul or David. Are you listening to me? Do you know the difference between Samuel and Saul? Samuel was a servant of the Most High. He was the conduit, he was the link between heaven and earth. That is what an Igwe is. Not a king. You are like a father figure. You are the one that hears the voice of the angels. And you tell us, we are divine people. That is why Aneji Abaja. That is why somebody can come now go fund. Do you understand what I'm saying? Igwe means you are the conduit. You are the high priest. That's all you are. You are not a political master. Although you can exercise some political functions, as I said, everything is even there in the scriptures. You even have the book of Judges. Those judges were high priests, most of them. Not judges the way you understand it today. And they are not meant to rule over anybody. We are the only people in the whole world that never transited from any Mosaic existence into that of having a king. In Israel, they asked for a king. They went to Samuel. Our own Samuel is the lineage of the king of Unri. Not a king, actually. High priest. Ezemo Kahawo. It's as simple as that. That's the meaning of it. Ezemo doesn't mean Dibia in the village. Because we understand who we are. We know where we are coming from. before we embarked upon this journey, we had every manner of revelation, exactly who we are. We didn't have to study it in a book. It came by divine revelation. I'm being honest with you. I knew that we came from Ethiopia before I preached it. It came into my head and said, you must say it. It is correct. And I said it. And then I went, after saying it without knowing, I went back to read and they said it was correct. Igwe means the conduit between the temporal and the spiritual realm. It doesn't mean you are the political head of state. No, it doesn't mean that. Because where we come from, everybody is equal. By what we say, we maintain that equality. The meaning of Ebe Bere Ugo Bere is exactly that. Equality before the laws of heaven and that of man on earth. There is no, all that priest nonsense is rubbish. You are the high priest. You're not a king. That's what it means. It is where we all come from Aguleri. Everybody's from Aguleri, of course. Please, the next person.
Once again, the great Solomon of Africa, of Biafra land. I want to give two suggestion. You know, like we all know in this struggle and in history of Nigeria, Britain is the founder of Nigeria. And it
Creator.
Creator. Thank you for that, Director. And you cannot destroy what they create without attacking them. And for us to allow them to free us, to ask us, what do you want? What did you want? We need to attack them as the master, because if a chicken is called his hen, for them to go and look for a food. If you want to suffer the hen, you must first of all kill the chicken, their mother, so that the hen will be scattered all over all the places, and they wonder where to find help. That's why, if we are attacking the Hausa, the British will be going around, covering them, for making trouble. That's why, if we Biafra can become a suicide bomber, terrorist, yes, that's what they hear. They respect Muslim because Muslim didn't look for peace. Yes, they don't look for peace. Like you said about your word always, because you said that there is no independent country in this world that's been supported, Christian country that's been supported by British. They only supported the Muslim.
Can anybody name one? Name one Christian country that wants to be free and Britain is there supporting them. There is none in history. None in this.
They also have area where they use helicopter to drop a lot of weapons to them, for them to continue their dastardly act. And Southeast governors never did anything. Just because IPOB decided to question Ekweremadu and whatever, that is when they begin to come out to start acting hypocritically, because they thought, like the other statement, the other headline you are just reading, what the impact of what IPOB did is going a long way, is resonating the conscience of our people. They are beginning to see the truth for what it is, because these people, they have been caging our people, caging their brain from reasoning properly. I want to tell the people, if you are listening to me right now, if you are watching me anywhere you are, power belongs to you. It doesn't belong to these politicians. All these corrupt, evil politicians, power doesn't belong to them. Power belongs to the people, and it is pertinent for you as an indigenous person to rise up, join what IPOB is doing, take the power that belongs to you back, because all these people, they have never represented you and they can never represent you. What they represent is their stomach. So coming out now to hypocritically, make a headline or a statement that they are banning it, we cannot take their word for it, and we cannot believe them until we begin to see their action, until they begin to implement things that really goes a long way to explain that they are sincere this time around. If not, we cannot believe or take them or take their words for anything. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We have Mazi Elvis with us already on email. Hello, Mazi, good morning from here. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, Madam Gozi. How was your night? And Mercy, Victor, my own managed man, and the other Biafrans listening worldwide. I am saying a very big welcome into this big family, where we expose the lives and the service today all I urge you to do is to put it into practice, not to come and tell us what you can do, but at the end you cannot do anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, so Mazi, on the issue of Southeast governors banning herdsmen and cattle movement from one community to the other, do you think it is a welcome development, and what do you think made them take this stance presently? Because they've been, nonchalant about this. So why do you think they just decided to wake up and then take the decision? And do you think the decision is good enough?
My sister, this is just a laughable move, and when you look at it, you'll find out that number one is that they made that decisions and that very ban out of no choice and out of frustrations that is coming from IPOB, in which that left them without any choice than to do that. And if you look at it very well, you will find out that immediately 24 hours after the ban, the Northerners, Northern elites, I mean the Fulanis, Kaba and their governors came up to say that you don't have right and you don't have any power or authority, which means they did what they did without their consent, because they are slaves to those people, because for them to come up to speak just to please the IPOB, the Northerners, the owner of the country, the owner of the governorship, and just came out to warn them that they should be very careful, so that Fulani has rights to go wherever area they want to go, because if not, after that very scenario, you had what happened at Uguta side. I will remember the name, where Fulani certain Dragon Land, even the DSS, the army officers, and Hajibama, thank you very much, came up to say that the land belongs to Fulani as long as they have been here for so long. This thing happens, or was it on Wednesday last week, that they have rights, not even right, they own the land, so they have to do whatever thing they want to do with the land, and nobody has right to caution or ask them to leave. This happens in Hajibama. So for the governors to come out to say this is because of the heat, because the IPOB has given them a run, so they are just hallucinating. Don't worry, they are just like people that are, an animal that is under a cage, who will get them one after the other. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so back to you, Mazi Victor. So do you think, having made the pronouncement, and then the North turns out to, attack them, do you think it's actually going to work out?
Well, from the look of things, when you look at it from a literal angle, you will understand. From the antecedents, you will understand that these people, they are subservient people to the Hausa Fulani. They have been subjected into that kind of mental enslavement. What they are doing is more or less trying to save their own head, because they know that the people are about to take the power that belongs to them, because all this while they are the ones that instigated and brought python dance to our land. They brought a lot of evil. They brought in these Fulani herdsmen, because I could remember when some time ago we talked about it here, when some Fulani herdsmen raped a woman in a community, in a sacred community, where those kind of thing is an abomination. Such a thing happened, and that man that committed the atrocity, in a normal situation, he's supposed to be killed. He's supposed to be, he's supposed to be, executed in order for there to be a cleansing of the land. And they know the repercussion of that thing, because that very act can even wipe out entire generation. But what did the devil Omar he did?
Sorry, let me get it clear. He's supposed to be killed, or he's supposed to appease the land as our tradition, demands. Do we kill like they do over there?
No, we don't kill like they do, but we appease the land. Okay, so it depends on how we choose.
If we are supposed to, follow them the way they treat us.
Exactly, that is my point. Okay. If we are supposed to follow them how they do, because if you do such a thing in their land, you get killed immediately. Okay. You remember what happened in Karimo area of Abuja? A young Biafran man, out of his ignorance, he went and urinated near a mosque, and immediately he was killed.
Sorry, I watched that video. That young man, the mosque was still very far from him. He wasn't even close to the mosque.
That is not what they consider. What they consider is that anywhere, no matter how far it is, close to the mosque, they consider it a holy land. They consider it a taboo for you to even desecrate it, especially if you are not. But the Hausa themselves, so the Muslims themselves, they used to urinate close to that very mosque. Nothing happens to them. But they believe you as a Biafran, you are an infidel. You don't even have a right to come near that place. Talk more or less of urinating. And they killed the young man. So if we are to meet out the same treatment, how they used to execute our own people. You remember the woman Maggie from Imo State that was killed in Kano State because she asked someone not to do ablution in front of her shop, not even his own shop. And at the end of the day, they got her head decapitated and paraded her. And nobody said anything. None of these Igbo governors reacted and all of that. So if we are to go by what they did to desecrate our land, if we are to meet that man is not supposed to be alive. He's supposed to kill, to be executed in order to appease the gods of the land, because then at the end of the day, Devil Omar here or whatever he chose to call himself decided to call the man, the murderer, the killers to the round table to have a discussion with them how to shift them away from the land until the land must have been consecrated all over again. And set things in right perspective. So that goes a long way to tell you that whatever they are doing now is hypocritical, because even that Devil Omahi has already a kind of issue a warrant. I mean, protecting the Fulani herdsmen and all of that. And the same thing is happening in other states. Even Ojo Zakalu came out the other day to tell you to say that he was the one that started the Ruga initiative in Abia State. So what have we not heard again? So for them to come out again and say we are banning, so those things doesn't mean anything to me. That is just a political statement. They are trying to use it to score a cheap point. So we don't believe them. They are just a kind of it's a kind of a premeditated attempt. They garbage in with one nonsense and they garbage out with another nonsense. And why I keep referring to the citizens, because I say the power belongs to the citizens, the indigenous people. Power belongs to them. It's time for them to see these people as as non-entities, because they don't represent their interests. They don't represent anything that will benefit the people. So it's time for the people to take back their power. Begin to question them now. Just a little question. We question the Ike Kuremado in Germany. Look at the result. We have been doing this kind of thing. Even the indigenous people at home here or in other places, not just specifically for the Igbos alone or for the Biafrans alone. Had it been the indigenous people of Yoruba, the indigenous people of Arewa, the indigenous people of the Middle Belt and all of that, they are questioning their corrupt leaders. Believe you me, things will change. Things will turn around for good. But because you keep praising them, in spite of the fact that they kill you, they murder you, they suck your blood, they use your blood to get into power. Do you know how many people there has to be killed for a lot of them to get, even for a councillor to get into the seat of councillorship and all of that? You keep praising them. Every day they kill you. But by the time you begin to question them, by the time you begin to tell them that, look, apart from this uniform men, and of course, those people that are wearing uniform and whatever, they are human beings. They bleed. By the time one or two of them bleed, they will understand that power really belongs to the people. You cannot stop the will of the people. You cannot stop the people's determination by guns and bullets. If not, they would have guns and bullets, AK-47, bomb and all of that would have stopped IPOB. If guns and bullets can actually stop the people. So the people have to rise up and know that guns and bullets and the soldier and the uniform of all this military joint task force, that's the Operation Python dance in our land, cannot stop us. Come out and confront all these elders and question them. I didn't say you should do anything silly, but just question them. You know what I mean. So you can use your brain to calculate what you have to do when you see them. You question them and they will sit up and they will do the right thing. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for that. In case you're just joining us, this is Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, and we are reaching you from Biafra land. My name is Ngozi Chukwuka. I have Mazi Victor Onyedo with me in the studio. I also have Mazi Elvis Omudiwe on email. And of course, they've come here to do justice to what we have here, the headlines, the topics we have here this morning. They've come to give in-depth analysis and, of course, to expose the evil, to expose the lies and the atrocities going on in the contraption called Nigerian. There is no going back until Biafra is restored. And don't forget to please reach out to us, partner with us, sponsor Sunrise Daily. That help us get strong internet connection, very important. We are having issues with internet, so we need a strong internet connection, and of course it costs some money. We need you to please be a part of that. We also have a committee that have come together to say, okay, let's see how we can do to, provide a particular thing. So if you're interested, if you can't do anything individually, we can link you to them there are brothers over there also in diaspora. You can join them and get this thing fixed. Very important. Very, very important. If you want to, support us on our monthly subscription as well, do that. If you want to get us gadgets, most of our gadgets are outdated and need to be updated. So please, we've really said much about this, and we want you to do something so that we'll keep this place running. Together, Biafra will be restored. All right, let's look at the next one here. Governors also say they have assurance of the federal government that the short Akanu Ibiam International Airport would be reconstructed by 2 sets of contractors to ensure that the work is completed on December this year. They also said that the entire state in the zone would, in the next 1 week, roll out complete palliative measures as a result of the closure of the Enugu International Airport. The governors made the disclosure in Enugu Saturday during their meeting that included the Minister of Aviation, the Army, Police, clergy, Igbo leaders, Federal Minister of Works, amongst others. In a communique delivered by Chairman of the Governors Forum, Chief Dave Omahi, the stakeholders say they deliberated on 2 major topics on matters of insecurity and the matters arising from the closure of the Enugu Airport. All right, Mazi Elvis, what's your take on this? Do we say all these things are happening because of, the advice given to Ikekwe in Nuremberg, Germany? And how authentic do you think the decision is?
My sister, all we know is that the airport has been closed. So whatever concerning the closure of the airport since inception, since 3 months now. So for them to come up right now to start telling us that the ongoing work and whatever thing is going to take certainly a few months, that is just Abuja contract promises. We are not interested. All we know and all we care about right now is the closure and the reasons of the closure, because they didn't tell us the reason of the closure. All they came out to tell us is that the work is ongoing and it will end so time. That's cock and bull story. We are not interested. What are the reasons of the closure and what leads to the closure of the airport? While the other airports in the north, all of them are working. Why this very one now is to send the contract and the work that is going on that very place? That is just nonsense. Nonsensical nonsense. I don't believe in that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much on that. All right. Let's look at the next one here. We are not brain behind Operation Python Dance 2 and 3, coming from Southeast Governors. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has reacted to the claim by Southeast Governors leaders of not knowing anything about Operation Python Dance 2 and 3. Remember, they said that during their meeting that they are not responsible, they are not brain behind it, because we've always accused them of that. They said they are not brain behind it. So, Mazi, Victor, what do you have to say about, why did they suddenly become this? I don't know what to say, but they're like, begging indirectly. We are not brain behind this. We didn't do it.
Okay, well, the truth of the matter is that the reason why they are fidgeting, the reason why they are shaking, because the chicken has finally come home to roost. Now, because, I keep saying it all the time, that chicken will finally come home to roost, and that is what is happening right now. The people are beginning to ask the right question. I mean, the Nigerian people of Biafra. That is why I keep pointing out that people should learn from them, so that we can get these people to sit up. Now, why are they coming out now to say they are not brain behind it when evidence abound everywhere? Or they think we are fools? Are we fools? We are not. We have so many evidence to buttress our claim that they are brain behind it, but we don't just want to follow them individually. We have so many evidence to show the rest of the world that Southeast Governors, even Ikekwe Madu and the rest of them, are brain behind Operation Python Dance 1, 2, and 3. Even this one, I don't know the version of it is now. So the truth of the matter is that even though Obiano himself will have a paper where he even signed it, he was the one that brought it. Then it's supposed to happen in Anambra that first time, but Okezie Ikpeazu took it to his own place in order to save his own head. But we are going to come to that very one later. But now, for them to come out and say they are not brain behind it, okay, let us just look at it holistically from that very angle, because by the time we are through with them, ultimately everybody will see the truth for what it is. Because Nigerians, sometimes they are very, very easy and gullible to be deceived with lies and deception from all these people we call leaders. Now, you are not brain behind Operation Python dance. Is that not correct? But what happened now? Let's take a look at what happened prior to the 2014. He come out openly to campaign for Boko Haram and told Jonathan and our brother is in it. So Jonathan is trying to prove, because everybody said that Jonathan is the reason behind Boko Haram and all of that, because it was Obasanjo's creation and the rest of them, but I don't want to go into all that detail. Now, for Jonathan to bring Boko Haram to a halt, to decimate them against Jonathan, they fight him to a standstill, told him to stop the onslaught against, because they see Boko Haram as their own brother, it is their own creation. They say onslaught against Boko Haram is onslaught against the entire North. And what did Jonathan did? He now reduced the tenacity of the attack and the intensity of the attack, and at the end of the day, they saved Boko Haram. They didn't allow Boko Haram to be wiped off or to be destroyed completely. And also, there was a time when a captain from Biafran land, he made a statement that his team was almost at the verge of capturing Shekau. This Abubakar Shekau that is almost invisible this time around. They went very close, about 100 meters close to where he is, because they've killed almost everybody around him. And the one they wanted to do is to even capture him alive. An order came from above that they should not advance any further. But they told him, look, we are very close to capturing this guy. They said, no, these are the handwork of the northern governors. These are the handwork of Buhari when he was alive. He didn't allow Boko Haram to be completely wiped out. Now, coming back to Southeast governors. Now, Operation Python Dance came the first time. They killed a lot of our people. They destroyed and ravaged our land. They brought evil. They even brought crocodile smile, crocodile whatever, in our land. These people never spoke anything. They did the second one, of which they almost killed our leader in that very operation. And we lost 28 men in the compound of our leader, and we lost several thousands of others, because apart from the people we lose in the house of our in the compound of our leader, if you go to Isi Alangwa and the rest of other places, a lot of our people were killed. They were soaked in gutter water. It is over there, all over there in the internet. You cannot hide away. Even you go to Google, you type Operation Python Dance 2, you will see everything. It will come out very glaring and all of that. Now, what did the people we call governor, what they did is to proscribe our activities. Now, they tell us that they don't know anything about Operation Python Dance, but after the event of Operation Python Dance, they proscribed the activities of indigenous people of Biafra, whereas the northern governor had not even proscribed the Icemen. They had not even proscribed the Boko Haram. They had not proscribed the Meetiala. They had not proscribed all the bandits that is killing people and destroying villages and destroying lives and properties. But they proscribed their own peaceful people that is fighting for the freedom of mankind, for the freedom of their own people. That goes a long way to tell you that anybody that is believing him is totally out of his senses. So we have so many evidence to tell them that they are the ones that brought it, because you can't tell me that you are the chief security of your state, and Operation Python Dance will just come from nowhere and you allow them in. If you resist it, okay, why didn't they come out and say we don't want Operation Python Dance? They should do this. They should have done the same thing that northern governors did back then over Boko Haram. That is why Boko Haram is still alive today, because the northern governors, they fought, they defended Boko Haram, and Boko Haram is still existing. Why didn't they come out unanimously and fight and defend their own people? But rather they choose to play to the gallery. They choose to play to dance to the enemy, because of to the tune of the enemy, because of the little peanut and whatever they are going to get at the end of the day. So they should stop deceiving themselves. It's just that we have just started to ask them questions, and the question will not stop. We are going to intensify the effort, since the question will now make them to sit up to confess. So we are waiting for them to confess other sins that they have committed. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Let me read out a response from our leader. We are not brain behind Operation Python Dance 2, Southeast governors. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has reacted to the claim by Southeast governors and leaders of not knowing anything about Operation Python Dance 2 and 3. On August 31, the Southeast governors holds a closed-door meeting with some Igbo leaders, stakeholders, security officials, while speaking. The Igbo leaders further distance themselves from being brain behind the killing of Biafrans and invasion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home in Afaruku, Ibeko, in Abia State, leaving 28 of his men dead. If you knew nothing about Operation Python Dance 2, why did you proscribe IPOB in its wake? Also speaking, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, said that it's too little, too late. Mazi Elvis, can you please explain to us what do you think our leader means? Too little, too late. It's you know, a very short sentence, but ambiguous. Let's understand it.
From the angle where I have a point to make towards the question you asked me is that if the Southeast governors would come out to tell us that they are not responsible for the Operation Python dance, I want them to tell us the reason why is it Uwanye or David Omahi said towards 2017 that the Enugu state, I think Enugu Ebonyi state is not Biafra, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not come to Ebonyi state with his IPOB, that he would get him arrested and that he should remain in the Abia state. Then, and after that, our leader says that nothing like Abia state, that all Biafrans comes from Anambra and he has right to move around to anywhere. And after that very scenario, there was a meeting that was held at Enugu. I don't know, is it Freedom House or whatever thing they call the place. Then immediately after that some few days after that very meeting, what is his name, Nyewodo, went to Lagos to say that he will do everything possible to make sure that he sabotage the Biafran, that over his dead body, even if it will cause his blood, to make sure that IPOB are being molested and do something about it, that he's pleading for the federal government to do that. Then in the few days towards that very speech in Lagos, our leader now said that he asked the governors if they want him to stop what he was doing, because the mainstreams, the purpose, the reasons of the meeting was to ask him to stop what he was doing. He said, okay, if you want me to stop what I was doing, that you don't like it and the way they are killing our people, you prefer it, then before I should drop it, go to the Nigerian government and ask them to give us referendum instead of restructure. They said that they cannot do that. Then they have loggerheads with our leader. Then in that very loggerheads, what they did was the person that suggested the Operation Python dance to bring an army to invade our leader's home was Obiano, and they endorsed it immediately. Immediately after that, they now abide by it, and they used the governors of Ebonyi State. I mean, it's Enugu, because he's the chairman of the governors of the Southeast. They used him to flag off that very Operation Python dance, because the very place they flagged it off was in the governor's house. So before they came down to Afaroku to kill our able-bodied men, our securities, including dogs there, and some other killings that have been going on towards that very moment. So if they came up to tell us, if they say that they are not responsible of the Operation Python dance, why is it that they are the people that are agitating for the prescriptions? Why is it that Ike Poremadu refused to unprescribe IPOB in Anambra when Abaribe asked him to say so, that he has the power to do so? He refused to do that. Why is it that Ebonyi state governors and Enugu state governors said that IPOB activities recently, I think last month, that IPOB activities are bound in Enugu state, that they don't operate anymore? If they don't know anything concerning Operation Python dance and the prescriptions of the IPOB, why is it that they got our people arrested on Sunday? Because they know that the problem is too high, now tension is too high now. They released them. They arrested more than 16 people when they were having meeting in the Enugu state. So my sister, they should stop doing, because our leader said it's little or nothing. Why? Because it's too late. So there is nothing they can do about it. We'll keep chasing them. If we wait for them in diaspora and we didn't see them, we'll come home and deal with them decisively. There is no hiding place or a kind of peace for all of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Of course, too little, too late. You know, all their the communique they release and everything, it's really too little. And then what do we do? What do they do to make it big or huge? They need to come out openly and declare Biafra. They want Biafra because that is what we want. Nothing more, nothing less. So, you know, talking about herdsmen, airport, and we did not do this and blah, blah, blah. It's really, really too little. And of course, too late because the deed has been done. A lot of people have died already, so they cannot run away. But it really baffles me that after, it wasn't up to 24 hours, people that we abducted in Enugu, they released them. It shows that Ekweremadu really digested the advice given to him in Germany, and we will also give more advice to those. But it's really, you know, it's funny that so many of them are absconding from their duties in diaspora. So many of them, after you know, having agreements or invitations to come abroad or in diaspora, they refuse to go. At least our people there would have given them, you know, more advice. The more they receive this advice, the more you know, sober they become and more reasonable they become. We try to deal with the you know, the poor mentality they have, so that they'll begin to reason like humans. But good thing, what happened in Germany was not a waste at all. It wasn't a waste. So congratulations to IPOB Germany for that. Let's look at the next one here. Federal government often stands on IPOB. The federal government may have sent warning signals to embassies and mission houses in Nigeria, warning them that it would not tolerate a repeat of the Nuremberg, Germany harassment of former Deputy Senate Ike Ekweremadu by men believed to be members of indigenous people of Biafra. The molestation of Ekweremadu in Nuremberg by members of IPOB in Germany was initially believed to be a one-off minor incident by some miscreants. But with intelligence gathered by the country's National Intelligence Agency, it became clearer that the incident was part of a larger plan by the separatist group in building a coalition of diaspora Nigerians across the United Kingdom, with a view to having a ready squad of protesters needed to give muscular and robust picketing of Nigerian political office holders who set foot on foreign soil, especially in the UK and in other countries in Europe. Planning and funding from local politicians, diaspora agitators are being channeled towards IPOB. There are also state and non-state actors involved in the matter, and this is not making the federal government happy, explained a top director of NIA to Sunday Independent. Nigeria had previously accused France of being too casual about fundraising drive of IPOB. As previously stated, the federal government has been of the opinion that the financial headquarters of IPOB is in France. Crippling the recognition that was given to IPOB has been difficult because most of the funding are being done in the guise of people sending money to their loved ones in Nigeria, which always ends in the hands of IPOB in the country, or are being sent abroad in the guise of school fees for their wards, says our source. There are beliefs in government circles too that Israel, Iraq, and Turkey may be involved in the tactic support of IPOB. There are no clear explanations as to why there has been believed that aside Nigeria's sub-regional influence being resented, European Union connected countries feel that a Biafran exit from Nigeria can only be proper if the UK plans its own Brexit. Other reasons abused to foreign support of IPOB are not unconnected with alleged human rights abuses against the agitators by the federal government. An Amnesty International report, for instance, claimed that at least 150 people were killed by Nigerian security forces in the course of pro-Biafra protests between August 2015 and August 2016. The federal government is believed to have toughened its stance on IPOB in the sub-region where it wields considerable influence. The separatist group is believed to have a strong network of operatives in the sub-region who are well grounded in infiltrating borders and smuggling routes. Benin, the country's West African neighbor, may have fallen in line with federal government persuasions on this matter. As exclusively gathered by Sunday Independent, the Benin security forces recently apprehended members of IPOB in the West African country trying to hoist the Biafran flag. Why this development could not be verified from Benin Consul in Nigeria. Sources in the NIA informed Sunday Independent that such arrests actually happened. But with the recent attack on Ike Ekweremadu, the federal government is believed to have renewed calls to embassies and foreign governments to treat activities of the group as that of terrorists. As also learned, the federal government is not too pleased with the response of the Nuremberg police after the incident in Germany and has since sent dispatches to mission houses in the country, reminding them that Nigeria intends to take very seriously international charters that protect visiting office holders on foreign soil. According to a news report earlier in this week, the Nigerian embassy in Germany mounted pressure on the German federal authorities to bring the attackers to justice, following the initial reluctance of the state police to investigate the assault, which was captured on video. The police had dismissed the episode as mere agitations and protests by citizens against its country political office holders. But according to Yusuf Tuga, Nigeria's ambassador to Germany, the European country has an obligation to foreign government dignitaries visiting the country. Okay, needless reading further. But I have to conclude with this. But the Germans do not consider Ekwuremadu's case as qualifying as assault. So let's take a look at the issue of finance. Why do you think the federal government, is hell bent on finding, knowing the means of our finance?
Okay.
Because we don't even have, and also accusing some politicians. So who could these politicians be?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Ngozi. I will just try to, summarize all of that in one episode. See, our people used to say in our local parable or in our local dialect, if you want to confuse a fly, put ogiri in a bottle, and that fly will remain confused for the rest of its life. Now, EGG that is looking for where that smell is coming from, and that smell is in a bottle, and there's no way you could locate it. I mean, it can guess anything and it can come out and say anything. So what they are just saying from all this episode they have just read, and from all those big vocabularies they are using in that very episode, it goes a long way to tell you that they are not even sure of what they are saying. They are not even sure of their accusation. The assertions they make there is not relevant enough for them to hold as something they can easily work with. And that is what IPOB have managed to do. IPOB have succeeded in confusing them the more, because the more they thought they know our way or the source of our strength, the more we get them confused. The other time they accuse France of sponsoring it, and when that is far from the truth, they accuse the European Union. And just the other day again, they accuse which other people said they accuse, of being complicit in what we are doing. Now they are accusing the German government. German government of all people, they are accusing them of also sympathizing with the indigenous people of Biafra. That goes a long way to tell you, because they have built their mentality on lies and deception. They have built the mentalities of killing people who come out to say the truth. This place is a zoo where you are not even allowed to say the truth. People preach lies in their churches, they preach lies in their mosques, they preach lies to the citizens, even the politicians. They tell people all manner of lies. So they thought with those kind of lies, they thought the German police is at the same, that the German police should be working in the same velocity with the Nigerian police. When they are, if there is a murder case or if there is any problem, what police does is not investigation. What Nigerian police does is to arrest anybody they see anywhere and accuse that person. By the time they torture you, you agree that you are the one that committed the crime. That's what they want the German government to do. But German government, or the German police rather, have seen that even what IPOB did in Germany is even too small to compare to what they did to their own politicians. Go and check them now. All the big politicians, even from the Mackerel herself, the vice chancellor of that very particular place, if what they have done to her is even bigger than what IPOB did to that. So they applauded our efforts. So now these people are trying to pressurize the rest of the world to begin to see us. They have tried to tell them to proscribe IPOB as terrorist group and all of that when they have not proscribed a full enhancement.
Can you please summarize it? Yeah, I really wanted you to talk on the financial aspect. So
okay. Now when you come to the financial aspect again, that's what made that first statement that we are confusing them, like when you put something that is merely in a bottle and the fly cannot.
So do you think there is anything they can do to stop us? Maybe just like they said, they have monitored that sometimes they send money. They say they are sending money to their families here at home, not knowing it's for IPOB.
Do you know the reason why?
Do you think there's anything they can do?
Do you know the reason why Buhari even banned forex? It's because of IPOB now. The reason why he banned sending and receiving dollar from abroad is because of IPOB, because he thought that is our own source of strength. Okay. So that, like what I was saying, when he was alive, he tried to ban all of that. Look at JP Morgan. He removed over $80 billion, from the initial investment he wanted to make. And that goes a long way. That is the downfall of the zoo called Nigeria. If you watch what Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was explaining, that even stabilize the economy, this man is ready to borrow more than that to invest. But because of the wickedness of this man, because of IPOB, he chose to cripple the economy of the zoo, thinking that he will stop us from, funding what we are doing and everything. So he's confused. And what he's trying to do, or what the zoo is trying to do with the influence of Jubril and the rest of the cabals, is try to see if there is any way, or they can get any government who is funding us and all of that. But they don't know that our funding is from Chukwu Kabiama. It's not something that is done by even ordinary mere human beings. Chukwu Kabiama that does everything for us, because if we tell you the little we have and what we have been able to achieve with it, if we have what the zoo have, we could have gotten far more than this. So what they are trying to do in those financial issues is to lay some kind of accusation. So if somebody from abroad who is not even an IPOB member now decide to send money to his own family in order to ameliorate the situation or to pay school fees and all of that, now you accuse them of sponsoring IPOB. How laughable is that? So that goes a long way to tell you that these people are confused. And the more they are displaying this act of stupidity, the more the rest of the world is seeing them for who they are, because that is when they will believe us, because they thought by going to those embassies to tell them, they don't know they are advertising us. Let me say that those people who claim to feign ignorance of what we are doing, who claim they don't know about IPOB, have not heard about IPOB before, by the time the zoo begin to go and start telling them that, look, these people now, I thought your government is the one fund, they say, about these people, by the time the people begin to investigate, because that's what makes the white men quite different from us. You don't just accuse somebody that this person is bad, this person is a terrorist, they will just go and crucify the person. They will have to make their own investigation. So by the time they make their own investigation and discover that IPOB is opposite of what the zoo is accusing us, the more they look foolish to those people. If not, why is it that we IPOB can single-handedly halt the movement of Jubril and all of that? So, and we control what they do now. We prescribe them abroad and they prescribe us here. So who is more at advantage?
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's listen to Mazi Elvis Onwudiwe. So Mazi, what's your take on this? Accusing some politicians of sponsoring IPOB, when we know that not even a single politician is happy with what we are doing. So who do you think they're actually talking about, and what do you think will be their next their next agenda? We are several steps ahead of them. So what do we expect from them presently, since they've talked about other countries recognizing us as terrorist organization, and also trying to say how to stop the flow of finance? What do you have to say? Should IPOB panic because of that?
There is no cause for any alarm towards the threat, and investigations coming from the zoo government. Number one is that what they are saying, number one, to the international communities, they are guilty of what they are saying right now. The more they push us, the more they expose themselves, because this Ike Kurimado's issue, and the problem that happens in that very place expose them the more, and they now find out that the way they do things, the way they kill people with impunity, the way they jail people with impunity, the way they kept people under awaiting trial for years without proper investigation, without court charges, and kind of rejecting court orders and whatever. They thought that the international communities are not even aware. So that is to tell them that the advanced countries are watching. They are watching them and taking notes of what they are doing. So for the government of the zoo to come up to say something, let me just tell you what they are trying to do. They are not saying it because they are sure. They are not saying it that this is exactly what they are driving at, but they want to make a point for what they are trying to say. Now, if we should come up and say, no, our finance is not in France, so it's in Jericho, and they will now channel or beam up their satellites to Jericho to find out how the IPOB organograms, the financial organograms, is being conducted. But let me just tell you one thing. It is only a stupid fellow that has lost focus, that has nothing upstairs, will only be chasing shadows while his house is on fire. This very government is the highest corrupt government that I have ever seen. The government that makes the price of everything skyrocketed. The government that puts hand in the country's treasury where you don't reserve, where nobody has ever tried, and took away $1 billion and nobody speaks about it. The country that whenever money is being lost, they tell you that monkey swallows the money, and the country that always give a contract that doesn't exist, the country that always chase companies away, and they prefer to kind of go to international communities, international countries for medical checkup and money laundering, and they are the people now trying to come up to accuse IPOB or the finances. They are kind of ashamed of themselves. They have to be very, very much ashamed of themselves. Why? Because they have major and serious problems at hand right now. They needed to attend to. They needed to fix, and they are creating more problems. And people are watching them creating major more problems. Just like collaborating with the FBI, arresting some of the people that are taking some little peanut from the crumbs from the master's table. What about the big bands? What about the big boys? What about the cabals that are stealing billions and bringing it to that same country? Using financial networking or whatever things to steal that very money and brought to that very countries and save it in that very place. They convince the international communities and for them to arrest the gullible, because if they should look into it, they will know that these people don't have anything to do. They chase them away from their country, but they left it. Now, what they are doing right now, because they've tried to arrest the IPOB in Germany, it couldn't work. They are trying to probe them there. It couldn't work. They have tried to make the German government to see from the angle in which they were coming to see the IPOB are a kind of terrorists. Nothing works. Now, what they want to do is where we kept our finances. This is pathetic, because they want to do like Americans. Because what America did to silence the ISIS permanently is to shell the place they steal oil to sell. That is the hard oil finances. And immediately they did that, the ISIS issues ceased to exist, in which the Obama refused to do. That's exactly what Jubril is doing. He refused to tackle the henchmen. He refused to tackle the Boko Haram. He refused to tackle the people that are stealing that very money, in which he promised that he would do. Now he's facing the IPOB just a little. IPOB now has become his headache. He wants to see who is sponsoring the IPOB. Oga, keep watching. The more you look, the less you see. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, the more you look, the less you see. All right, let's quickly look at this one before we embark on the break. Barrister Ifeanyi for prevented entry into a hall. Femi Fani-Kayode delivered a lecture in Anambra State. I think this is, I don't know, but how do you describe this? How do you describe this? And
I describe it as, a kind of, it's a kind of infringement on a fundamental human right, because every human being, according to their zoo law, or according to what they have in their useless constitution, every human being has freedom of association. You cannot tell me who to make friends with and who not to make friends with. But because of the fact that this is a zoo where everything is acceptable, somebody who is a lawyer, a honorable barrister, for that matter, they believe that the people will never go home the same. They believe that they will be enlightened. They will know the truth. They will know the truth, and the truth will set them free. So, but they don't want those people to know the truth. That is why they say that they got order from above. Who gave them the order? Is it the dead Buhari or the Jubilee from Sudan, or argument of on the human rights? So everybody should condemn it. Even the world itself should not accept it. Is totally unacceptable, because this is total anarchy.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a question you asked, and I think I had wanted to ask that question to Mazi Elvis, and I think he needs to answer this question. Mazi, because I'm baffled, do you think, who do you think, just like DSS said, they got the order from above? Which above? Because we know that this occasion isn't even organized by Anambra State. Not to talk about the federal government. It's Anedo Online. It's just a community in Newi. It's not a state-sponsored program or federal government-sponsored program. So who could have been, who is the above man that gave the instruction?
My sister, let me just tell you the thing that has been happening and how it happens. Number one, the fear of IPOB now is the beginning of disintegration of the soul. So Mazen Nandekano now has a kind of I don't know, a light or fire that consumes every enemy that sticks around his ways. So if anybody that works with Mazen Nandekano has becomes a flames of fire that the zoo and their apparatus has the more they are working their thoughts, if coming to events that the issues of Biafra will be raised, and the people that were there big wigs, a lot of souls in every place will be converted into IPOB, and they are very afraid